This episode is about somebody lying at the food bank. This happened on the Thursday food bank. He got lucky and got a truck full of meat. So he had a lot of meat to pass out. So I know I haven't been up there in a few months because I had some personal business to take care of. So when I go up there this week, they had rotated where the meat is being distributed out of. Used to be the first thing you would get is meat. And then they rotated back to being the last thing you get is meat on the way out. And they want you to leave out, I guess. That's the whole point. Because people was hanging back. There used to be a time when they would just leave out, and the person that would come around last, they would get the most. But they got hip to that once they come around first, so they started laying back and hanging back so they can get some more. They used to go and leave out. So the church had to change that around again. They had it set up like that before where the meat was at the tail end of the run. There's a little circle, half circle that they set the tables up. And they had the meat at the end, at the beginning of the event when I first started going there. And then they put it at the front to make sure everybody got some meat so it wouldn't run out that quick. But then, they seen that people that got hip to them passing out some extra meat so they wouldn't just leave out. They would just be hanging around. And then they get mixed up in the crowd and they might go around twice. So they had to switch it back to the last thing you get on the way out is the meat. And as you know, the food bank meat is the prized possession. So this one lady, she had been around already once and she came with somebody. So they was giving out 3 pieces of meat. And it's, quality meat. They had ribs this time. They had baby back ribs. They had whole chickens. And they had another piece of meat you can get like steak or hamburger or something like that. So they had enough meat there that you can be choosy. But they're trying to speed you up so they can get you out the door. So you won't be hanging around. So the first group, they got, like I said, they got it set up that the senior citizens sometimes get chosen first. So if they call out the senior citizens, they backpack at that door. The door ain't that wide, and then you bring your shopping carts, you make it even narrow. And all of them have their little shopping carts, as well as the illegal shopping carts from the grocery store. Sometimes they got the hand carts that you buy. The senior citizens do, and then the other people from the neighborhood, they drive, so they can't put a shopping cart in their vehicle. So they have to have ones that fold up. But the ones that don't drive, they bring their shopping carts from the neighborhood. The grocery store shopping carts, they was there at the door too. So the door can get really jammed up. So this day they did the senior citizen first. And it was jammed up at the door. So me and 2 other people who qualified to be senior citizens, 62 or older, we hung back. So we didn't want to be jammed at the door, up at that door trying to be first in line. And, you get more, you're going to get more choices. But now they starting to rotate people on out the door instead of them hanging back, because they used to just hang back and be looking like vultures at the food table where the meat was at. And they was be in the way of other people couldn't do. So they had to change that around again and put the meat at the end. So when you get to the end, they ask you going out the door. And you ain't got to be hanging back no more. And we gonna do it again. We'll let you know, but go all the way out the door to the waiting area outside so that you don't get messed up with the crew, with the ones at the end. Trying to come back around for the second time around. That wasn't good enough for one young lady. She had to come up there and tell that lie. And the person that giving out the meat knew it was 2 of them, and they knew they had gave her something earlier when she had a shopping cart. And she came through there with the shopping cart the first time. She parked the shopping cart outside, and she come around with her hand out, no shopping cart, no bag, no box, with her hand out and told the lie that she didn't get no meat. And the person that told her, don't be trying to play me like that. You know you got some meat the first time around. Don't play me like that. But that's how desperate some people are for that meat, that they will lie to get a second time around, to get some extra meat. They will absolutely lie. Everybody knew she was lying, but she was first in line. And we know that she gets first in line because she joined the church just so she could be in first in line. If you join the church, you can be among the first ones in line after the senior citizen. So that was very important for her to be first in line so she can get that meat. And some people, this meat might be important to them for other reasons than eating it. So I'm thinking that if it's that important, you probably selling it. And you be at 2 or 3 food banks getting down, and you have enough. She can get down with these food banks that she have enough to eat for the week. So she be at the Wednesday food bank volunteering, so she can get off on that too. Which I ain't mad at her, but don't show greed. There's the church people being generous with their passing out the food on Thursdays anyway, and they keep on telling people that they don't have to pass it out. They can shut this program down and just have it for the 2 houses they got, the 2 homeless shelters they got. They don't have to open up to the public and then just be among the church members only. So, only take one person to mess it up with that greed for everybody else. So everybody knows she was lying. She got in front of me. I'm about the last one in line. And then they had already got rid of the ones in first in line. They already had to ask them to leave on out. They wouldn't get no more. And they can go around the other tables and clean up on the other tables, but not the meat table. Meat table was closed down on that day. So it depends on how they feel, how they're going to do it. If they want to get rid of that meat, they'll give you a second time around. But they try to tell you, let the people that's at the airline come around first, then you get the second choice around. But they starting to crowd that little section, so you can't even get through. Because they be crowding, they don't know how to step back. You know what I'm saying? They want to be in front of themselves. The first ones among themselves. They're already the first in line, but they want to be first among themselves with the first in line. So it can get to be ridiculous, so they had to go and shoo them on out. Tell them to leave on out the building. And you wouldn't get no more today. And some people got offended by that. I don't know why, because you're getting something for free. So anytime you get something for free, you ain't got nothing to complain about. That's my philosophy. You leave here with nothing, and your shopping cart is on full, and you're carrying the fold-up shopping cart is on full, and your grocery store shopping cart is on full, you got grocery store shopping cart is on full, you got nothing to complain about. If you complain about that, then you can't be satisfied. So I guess you have to have the whole truck. And if you get a person the whole truck, they might be satisfied. I don't know. But anyway, that's what went down this Thursday. A person had the audacity to try to play a person for being stupid, like you didn't see my face. And she stands out in the crowd because they know who she is. She joined the church for that reason. They hip to that. They hip to all her nickel sleep moves, but she going to try it anyway. So she ended up for her rewards on that day, getting 1 chicken, extra chicken, a whole chicken. That was her reward for that day, for lying. So that was just too funny. You got to lie to get an extra piece of meat, some extra meat. If it was other stuff you could have came around to and got that was running out, and they said, come and get it all because we finna throw it out. They didn't want that. That wasn't on the high level. It went up there with that meat. And they had canned goods and the leftovers on the sweet tables and the leftovers on the fruit table. They didn't want that. They wanted the meat. And they were crowding that little section where the meat was at, where that table was at. And they had to clear the area to let them know that it was over. And you wouldn't get it the second time around. So that's what happened that Thursday. Now there's a brother that had been coming there that Thursday. His senior citizen, he came up missing this year. He was on the news missing as a missing person. So we haven't seen him in about 6 months since he's been on the news. I didn't know he had Alzheimer's. He was the guy that walked around and picked up paper in the neighborhood to give himself something to do. He had one of them ghetto bags, they're known as a laundromat bag. They sell at the dollar stores for $1 or $2. And then he had one of those sticks you use to pick up that you have to bend down and pick it up. You can clamp onto it and pick it up. It wasn't the kind that you poke in the ground. The kind that you got the little trigger on it where you can clamp down on it and pick it up and pick the paper up and pick it up and put it in the bag without you bending down. So he was doing that on his own just to give himself something to do. And he'd be walking around the neighborhood, not in the residential area, but on the commercial side, picking up paper in front of the buildings. So that's what he was known to do. Say he was ex-military. So you should have good survival skills. But if you got signs of Alzheimer's, they fool around, and his family fool around and move. It was on the news. And once you move, when somebody got Alzheimer's, you got to put. I don't know how you do that with Alzheimer's. I guess you got to wear a bracelet and let people know who they are, or something, some kind of gear, or they can wear or have on them to let people know who they are, who they can get in contact with if they get lost. But hopefully he didn't get hung up in one of these buildings in the wintertime and pass away from being in one of these abandoned buildings or houses. But we haven't seen him in 6 months, and we haven't heard nothing on the news for him. So I was thinking about him when I seen him on them Thursdays events. He would go there just for having something to do because he really didn't pick through the food that much. He was just a couple items. He was trying to really throw down with it. I mean, that one incident with this one guy, he was on the road that day because he came up there drunk, and then he messed with him because he pushed him out the way and told him, "Don't be pushing on me." And he was the one doing the pushing. So that messed him up for a little while, so he didn't come back for a while after that. And we got this one brother that was a church member up there, and he be drunk all day, from sun up to sundown, and he come up there drunk, and he was acting a fool that day. He was trying to unload the truck, and he was drunk. And he already said he need his help if you're drunk, you hurt yourself trying to unload the truck. But he was insisting on unloading the truck, and he was on the road that day messing with people. And he messed with that guy for some reason or another. It was wrong, but the other church member got with him. Let him know he needed to calm down with that. So you get all kind of attitudes, but that's the one missing person we got. And if you go to these food banks long enough, you see a rotation of a lot of things. And even from people passing away that used to volunteer there to new people coming in and volunteering. In this case, we got a missing person that's from the neighborhood. So that's all I got for you on this Thursday food bank. I don't know how much time I had put in on this one. I'll let you know in 1 minute how much time I didn't put in. Because I have to go through these cycles with this phone to get back to the mainstream. But the time I got 12 minutes into the recording. So we're going to stop it here around 12 minutes and 45 seconds. So adios, amigo.